Shalom and good day, all. This is Tequila29 back again for another indie comic review. And in this indie comic review, I'll be covering Blood Tree issue 4 by Peter J. Tomasi and TMNT crossover with Usagi Yojimbo. I'll now get things prepared for the first one that I'll be reviewing in this video. So jumping in the first things first, and that is moving into the rating for the cover. So does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, because the main character who we see here, who is Dario, does come across some confidential information that, well, not even he knew about. So for this, I give a 7.5 for the cover. Now it's time to move into the internal art as we look around the beginning, middle, and also the end of the story, and also some of the things that are happening story-wise. So as we move into the beginning of the story, this is around the section to which he learns something about himself that he didn't actually know. And of course, we've got here the detective that's with him. It's now jumped towards the middle. It's now time to jump towards the middle of the story. So as we start to move towards the middle of the story, we still have some people behind the scenes doing some things, as well as Dario in contact with some friends. And last but not least, we move towards the end of the story, or towards the end of this issue, to which we get to see some things take place in one of the prisons, and also what is happening between Dario and one of the detectives he works with. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area of the story. So first things first, did we get anything that addressed the area of time? Not at all. The next is the area of location, which we actually got quite a bit location-wise, but it did lack in other areas. So we got the Bronx in New York, we got the Azario home, we got the Brooklyn Bridge, we had Pennsylvania, and also the prison in Pennsylvania. The cast of characters to which we got to see in the story were Owen Fincher and also Dario. There were some more there, but they weren't brought up by name when they should have been brought up by name. It would have actually increased the story rating had that have been there. But for the overall story, I am enjoying this detective story by Peter J. Tomasi. Definitely look forward to where the next issue will take us. So overall story rating is a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the TMNT Usagi Yojimbo. So as we return for the TMNT Usagi Yojimbo crossover issue 2, we have another wraparound cover, to which does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the internal art, as well as some of the things that are happening story-wise. So as the story begins, we do end up having Usagi Yojimbo, along with, I think it's Yukuchi, going up against the TMNT, and of course he's calling him Evil Kappa. He's completely forgotten who they are at this time. So we do get in the story a bit of a reminder to Usagi Yojimbo that he does actually know them. So by the time we move to the middle of the story, they now have realized, okay, he's made a mistake, and they're now doing their best in a way to which they can also not only help or not only Usagi Yojimbo can help them, but how they can also help Usagi Yojimbo. And of course, there's a bit of a respectability shown towards one of the lords in Japan, or in this particular Japan. And now it's time to jump towards the end. So as we start to move towards the end of the story, we soon find out that there's a bit of a attack by, well, of course, some underground mole type ninja. And we'll get to find out what happens in the next issue. So for the internal art, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10, as it felt really fun and worked along with the story. Now it's time to move into the area of time, or in the story racing, to which we got none of. It would not hurt to include it, because it would be nice to know when this is taking place within the time frame of Usagi Yojimbo. Like, is it in the Edo period? Is it in a different particular period? It would be really nice to know. Of course, we know its location is in Japan. We also get elsewhere brought up, so we get to find out what Dr. Werewen is doing. The cast of characters consisting of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Usagi Yojimbo. We had a couple of his friends as well in this particular universe. We had Yukichi Jotaro, who was actually in the previous issue. Lord Norioki, again in the previous issue. We had Hiro. We had Dr. Takanako. I think I said that wrong. Or Takimako. We had Lady Tomo. Hikichi. The Borrower. We also had the Magna Ninja Clan. I think it was the Mogura Ninja Clan. Of course, Dr. Werewen. And we do learn that he has got some samuroids. Or samurai droids. For the overall story rating, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.